All right, so here we have a fun custom game. This is a practice game that was played out between TheoRy here, aka Bicepsius Maxwolius, and his teammate and partner and friend, Aftermath's Albino. But Albino here not playing his normal faction, the Vanguard. He will be playing the Red Celestial here, and the reason for this was these games were played out last Friday before TheoRy was playing in the Little Mac tournament semifinals and finals, where he had a match against his other teammate Parting, who is well known to be a pretty skilled um, celestial player, if you haven't heard of him. And then I think he also had some. He played that Stormgate Sundays. Oh, ooh, I thought we almost had a melted hex in there. But he knows exactly how close he can get before the laser beam melts him. But yeah, on Stormgate Sundays, he also has some celestial opponents. So he said, "Hey, Albino, let's play." Oh, I guess he's a little bit bored with this match already. But he said, let's play some practice matches so I can warm up, so I can beat Parting, so I can beat Nina and whomever else he had to face. Uh-oh. There's a little trash talk between these friends and teammates. Luckily, they bleeped out whatever that was. We want to have a family-friendly stream here. And it looks like a prism being sent back. I'm not sure how much Albino plays Celestial, although I was watching his stream today, and he did play some Celestial games, and he also played some Infernal games, and I noticed that he's at least 2k above on all of his factions. And of course, Vanguard being his best. So we'll see what kind of build TheoRy is working on. So one thing TheoRy, I asked him, I'm like, can I get these replays? He said, sure, but please don't cast them until next week after I've played in the matches. Obviously, he didn't want his secret tech to get out. Of course, he was also, this was on his stream, so I'm sure, Parting could have watched. But we'll see what he had planned. Now, no spoilers. You can go check out that match against Parting on Little Mac's YouTube and Twitch, and you can catch that Stormgate Sundays on Beowulf's YouTube. Check them out. It was actually a really good Stormgate Sunday this week with some really good matches, with the exception that Nina's matches got basically messed up because of some of the bugs that are in the current build. And there are some control bugs related to the Celestial players, and she was running into them quite a bit. It got frustrating for her. You can see in one of the matches her units actually kind of just stopped accepting controls, and unfortunately that meant she lost a lot of vectors. And when you're playing a micro heavy style like vectors, it looks like that's the style that Albino is going to go into here. If you're having control issues where you're dropping controls, it's got to be incredibly frustrating. So that part, other than that, I think the Stormgate Sundays were really good. Really good matches. Albino played in those matches as well. And so did TheoRy. And so there's some really good matches between Albino and TheoRy. So far, they're not being super aggro on each other, although we're starting to see some vectors move across the map. They only came across the map to murder this poor critter here, but, I'm not sure what that poor critter ever did to Albino, but he moved out to snipe it and then moved back to take his vision cap. Maybe he just did it as a troll move to come on to TheoRy's side of the map. TheoRy could see what was going on there and saying, I'm hunting in your forest, buddy. Come get me. Now, TheoRy sent his fiends up here. This is interesting because he did have that fiend up here for a while. He knows there's no base there. So this must be a staging fiends that are going to do a run by in a minute. I will keep an eye on them. And these are staging Gaunts that are, yeah, they're getting ready to fight here. Looks like they're just soaking in that shroud skin for a second beforehand. Waiting for a brute. Always just waiting for the brute. Tanky old brute boy. Although these vectors are moving out here, and there is a little bit of shroud spread, and they can spend some time picking down effigies. And almost done creeping up here. Looks like losing there's a lot of blood there. Losing some fiends, it looks like. And also we've got some blinking under the high ground, but that's right into the health camp. Let's call it a delta jump, because that's what they're called, I believe. Delta jumps. To tell me, recall and delta jump. Delta jumping, yeah, there we go. Alright, they're actually pretty good against farms. If you are playing the vector style, you want to jump on top of farms. Now, they delta jumped there and were able to recall. And again, remember, one of the cooler part about the recall, other than obviously just teleporting back, is you get your health back to where you were beforehand. So it's kind of a fun way to heal up your units again. So there we go. Jumped out, took a little bit of damage, and delta jumped away again. But only 5 vectors is not really going to be good enough against this army. But having a couple split off Gaunts here, they could, yeah, get some Gaunt kills. Now that's dangerous to jump back now. You don't want to recall. Oh, okay, very. You know, I think what TheoRy needs to do in a situation. I'm not sure if TheoRy actually sees the little purple circles. To be honest, I'm not certain if as those little purple circles tell you where you're going to jump back. Ooh, nice zoning with a Nightfall infestation, but also good dodge. Nonetheless, one vector goes down. So if you do see those purple circles and you know, they're your opponents, it's good to leave some of your units there so that when they recall back, you can jump on top of them. Now, at one part of their jump, they get a debuff on their armor. I'm not sure if that's after the first jump or after the second or after both. Should look into that. Now it looks like Argents have shown up. They're standing in that Purify Ray, which of course clears away any infest they might be getting from the Plague Axes, while also filling them up with more energy, which empowers their shots, making them more damage. Deal more damage, I guess that's how that language works. And they've backed away here, being pushed away from these Gaunts. There's one Weaver in the back just threatening to do a lash and pull one of them in. And there's an Arc Fortress. Is this a fortress? Yes, this is the Arc Fortress. Looking all regal. Just tanking some shots right here, which is super annoying, I think, sometimes as an Infernal player at least. Why are my Gaunts attacking the fortress? I don't want to be attacking the fortress. I mean, you managed to get some damage on it, but I was trying to fight those Argents. So that's a secondary bonus that the Arc ships, Arc Fortress, and so on can help. Not only do they heal your units, they also tank. Now, you might not want to lose your Arc Fortress that way, but... Uh-oh! Here comes the other benefit of bringing your Arc Fortress along. It just melts bases. We can thank Parting for teaching us about this cool maneuver, and we also have some link nodes on the high ground here, although these might be cleaned up. We have Gaunts chasing down. Yeah, they're a little overextended there. There's a Morph Core here as well, and the Arc Fortress is hoping to retreat. It hasn't. It's still doing pretty good for health. But now those Gaunts are targeting it down, and that seems intentional. We got Weavers doing some lashes on Argents, not normally what you're going to lash down, but with lacking any other good targets, might as well. And yeah, still seeing if they can, you know, only at about half life, down to 600 health. Just not enough DPS right now to take that out. The Weavers luckily giving vision of the high ground, so these Gaunts can still shoot it even though it's up on the high ground. But this little forward base of albino has been largely taken out here. And the Weaver Gaunt force, while small, doing well. Single vector. Vector's doing bonus against light, so it's actually pretty good against these units, other than that it's not very tanky at all. These Argents just hoping to heal up underneath the healing rays of the Arc Fortress. Maybe trying to push out there. These staging fiends still staging. They're still waiting for that stage. And it's kind of smallish armies here. Out of both of them, although the supply tells a story that yeah, this army is not quite as small, but so far they've been skirmishing a lot and taking losses on both sides. But adding Spriggans in now, the Spriggans of course with their debuff, they're actually quite good against Argents. Taking out that lone Vector first, because Vectors are good against all these units. And there are laser beams firing down. That Sovereign's Watch, chasing them back. Or actually, that's, I don't know if that's the Fate's End, but we've got, ooh, the Arc Fortress goes down to a whole bunch of anti-air there. There were Shadow Flyers, there was the Spriggies, and of course the Gaunts down below. Getting pretty good Gaunt Ball, up to 5 Weavers as well. And it looks like Albino is taking losses, so unable to boost his supply. He's still just around 50-60. And this might be the final push coming out of TheoRy here. Moving out in a little bit further. You know, this is a hard base to push into. So it looks like he's moving forward to the tower. Gonna take out the creeps first, managing to get another lash on one of those vectors. Another lash. Another vector going down, and these poor Argents. Looks like reinforcements also getting picked off. These Argents, you know, the Weavers are not attacking. They're just sort of move commanding around. So the Argents getting a few free shots off. They're just frightening. Here we have a poor Hellborn caught out on the map, trying to reinforce in and going down. But the Sprigs now are on the high ground, and we see red power here. I'm not sure what caused that. Maybe a few power banks already been taken out. Oh, it's probably the Arc Fortress going down. And it looks like a little bit of an Argent counterattack here. But Flame on Imps, come on, Flame on Imps. Ooh, pretty good strikes. Pretty good, and that collection ray's gone down. More power banks going down. We are back into yellow power here, but probably not for long, as more of these power banks are likely going to fall. And this is certainly not a base trade that's going to win. Another Flame on Imp. Just sending 1 or 2 Flame on Imps at a time in. And there's a ton of Fiends here. It looks like TheoRy's microing these units, but Albino is not. And that's a GG called out of Albino.